got to execute early on, find a rhythm of the game, and then go finish in the fourth quarter.
The whole season on the line for the Buckeyes. Nobody giving the Wolverines a chance to win this game. Howard in trouble! Incomplete! Ohio State turns it over on downs. And the Michigan Wolverines will shock the college football world. And now there's some skirmishes going on the field.
You got to fight Ryan Day.
If there wasn't a 12-team playoff, Ryan Day would be...
I think he would be fired.
Is Ryan Day the guy for this job?
Can he and the football team bounce back?
Touchdown, Ohio State strikes first.
They cracked his helmet with such a big hit. Look at that.
Touchdown end zone. Henderson breaks free. House call for Ohio State. The Buckeyes can begin planning for Pasadena. There is Smith rolling free. Breaks a tackle. Ohio State strikes quickly. Caught in stride. Abuka touchdown. Buckeyes on fire. Smith is wide open. It's a Crimson avalanche here in Pasadena. Davian Henderson gets momentum back for Ohio State. Sawyer knocked it out and picks it up. Ohio State scoop and score. Heavy pressure. Howard delivers downfield. And Smith, he's got it. And Ohio State is going to walk out of Atlanta national champions.
The story gets to get told now, and it's a great story about a bunch of guys who have just overcome some really tough situations. There's a lot of people that counted us out, and we just kept swinging and kept fighting. It's the reason why you get into coaching, is to see guys overcome things, learn life lessons, and then reach their dreams.
College football national champion Coach Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
What's going on, Buckeye Nation? Rob and Peter back again for another live with you on a Tuesday night here in the state of Michigan, man. There's a lot of great topics to go over tonight that we're going to discuss. We hope you join us for them and engage with us in the conversation. Of course, we're going to be talking about the races, man. The conference races and the playoff races are heating up, especially in the Big Ten and the SEC. A lot of different scenarios could play out. Both conferences have two clear favorites that are undefeated right now, but many teams waiting in the wings to pounce if somebody takes a loss, an unexpected one. We're going to go over Brian Kelly and the lawsuit that just dropped yesterday from Kelly. A lot to discuss there. We're going to lead off the show with that, of course. And then also, man, it's Ohio State, Michigan month, man. And we know it's a couple games away, but the rivalry talk is heating up. The banter online is at an all-time high. And as we saw last year, the division has never been stronger. We saw play on the football field, the animosity. And honestly, I think the respect is kind of dying in that rivalry a little bit. But a lot of smack talk we're seeing online already. But first, man, how you doing, Rob? How's the week been?
It's going good. Just I don't know, man, just getting through the work week.
Yeah, buddy.
Like I normally do. But other than that, man, just excited going towards another great weekend of college football. I mean, you got a lot of top SEC matchups, and the one that I'm gonna be looking at is Georgia versus Texas.
Yeah. On that note, man, you know how much slander I have with Georgia, but my confidence has grown. They are very gritty. They've shown they know how to win in the tough games. Now, they've had a lot more tougher games than they did in 21 and 22, but they're prevailing in every one. And so my confidence and respect is going for them. And then Texas, on the flip side, Arch Manning just notched his first, top 10 victory versus Vandy. And they're surging quietly. Now, the nation's not taking notice. They've written them off already and written the narrative about Manning and the Longhorns. But they're looking good. But it's in Athens, and I must admit I'm leaning towards the Dogs on that one because they got the home field advantage.
Yeah, I mean, so 3:30, it's Oklahoma, Alabama.
Yeah.
And then you got that prime time slot, ABC, 7:30, Georgia.
Well,
versus Texas. I mean, there's other good
TV
games
might be the move.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm about done with YouTube TV. I mean, Essentially, it's not YouTube TV's fault. I mean, yes,
No.
there have been things in the past, like we almost lost out on March Madness, but they got a deal done. But for some reason, they're just not nobody's budging in terms of negotiations to, get ABC and the ESPN channels back on YouTube TV. And it's just like, you can't blame us. We love football. Like YouTube TV was a sports lover's wet dream, man. You had all the channels on there.
Yep.
I mean,
The quad vision.
Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN, ESPN2, Big Ten Network, SEC Network, ACC Network, and it's just like in the dual screen.
Yeah.
That was just that
The
made
quad.
it even better.
Yep. The dual screen's legit. The quad can be a little much at times, but I still enjoy it when Ohio State's not playing, of course. But we missed a lot of games, man. I missed games last weekend for the second weekend in a row, and
I didn't.
the games you mentioned right now, we can't watch them unless we get a free trial with Fubo TV or Hulu or whatever you want to do.
I can watch them because I have Disney Plus, and
Sure.
I'm able to get the live games on there. So
yeah, it's real frustrating, man, and
but
that's good on your part. But even tonight, we're missing action. We miss Monday Night Football. If you're a basketball fan, there's some huge games going on right now, both in the NBA and the college that we're missing, and it's frustrating. But they better figure it out because I am getting pissed. I'm not gonna lie.
Speaking of contracts and negotiation, figure things out. What is going on between Brian Kelly and LSU? Now, if you're telling me that Brian Kelly was not fired, I call you a liar and I'm being gaslit right now because I'm pretty sure he's fired. Now, because they don't want to pay this massive buyout, they're trying to claim that they didn't formally fire him and they are going to be able to fire him with cause. Like, what cause are we talking about? What cause in this contract did he break? It just sounds like they're trying to find some lame loophole to get out of paying this man his money. Now, don't get me wrong. As we saw, Brian Kelly is not a very great human being, not
No, he's not well liked.
all, but a contract is a contract. You chose to fire him. I bet you it was, no love was lost on either side, but pay the man his money. Don't try to back out of it.
Well, here's the thing, man. You can tell how much LSU does not like or respect Brian Kelly by the fact that he showed up to the facility Sunday morning and could not get in. He was not informed that he was fired. His stuff just was turned off. It did not work. He couldn't get access to the building. You don't do that to a coach that you have a good relationship with. You do that to someone who you want to spite and piss off. And so that tells me that the administration and the athletic department had a contentious relationship and a cantankerous relationship with Brian Kelly, which doesn't surprise me because that's been the case literally everywhere he's been.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, yeah, sure, to LSU fans, he underperformed overwhelmingly. Just complete garbage as the years went on. Yeah, he had that one good season in 2022, but it kept going downhill, and just like, what a disappointing season. I mean, their season was as hyped up as Penn State's season was, and they're just all in complete shambles now. But it's not like he pulled a Mel Tucker, did something inappropriate on the phone with someone who is going to come to your team and talk about consent.
Hey, but real quick, let me interrupt. I'm not certain that we're live because I haven't gotten the notification.
What are you talking
about?
Can
you check real quick before we continue?
We are live, man.
Okay,
I see we have 2 viewers.
Okay, good deal. All right, that's good to know. All right, anyway, we'll continue. Yeah, I don't know about Kelly, man. Like, clearly he is underperformed to a great level. I don't think there's any dirt that is uncovered or hasn't been made public. Obviously, the death of the student at Notre Dame back in his time there in 2010. That was made public, and that would certainly be reason for cause for firing. But I don't think we're going to see anything unearthed about Kelly and his time in LSU. He's a jerk. He's absolutely hard to work with and hard to be around. No question about it. He's an old school football coach. Purple face Kelly. All the memes we've seen over the years. That's probably how he treats staff members too. Because if he's willing to do that on live TV in front of everybody, knowing that cameras are rolling, what's he doing behind scenes when cameras aren't rolling? So I imagine he's not well liked down Baton Rouge, and that's why he was let go. More in addition to him underperforming and the Tigers not doing well. So, yeah, man, it's really interesting what's going on with this. There's still a lot more that's going to come out, I'm sure, but coaches or universities aren't trying to pay these big buyouts, and that's become the norm, and they're trying to get out of it. They're trying to find a loophole to get out of it, to one, save themselves money, and two, not have to pay a coach that's not working for them anymore, as well as a coach who's supposed to bring them to the promised land.
Yeah, it's just like, so what I'm hearing is the athletic director who is it's someone who was involved with Jimbo Fisher's buyout at Texas
Texas
A&M,
A&M. Yeah.
is involved in this same dilemma right now. Not the legality issue right now that's being brought up by LSU, which is a complete sham, by the way. But I'm talking about, like, he's responsible for these two big buyouts. Like, he's the one who got this put in motion with Jimbo Fisher, as well as now Brian Kelly. So, and you got to think about the buyout that they had to do for Ed Ogeron. They just don't want to pay the money.
Yeah. So they've orchestrated these things before. Yeah. That's interesting. That's some good insight, man. I didn't realize that the same AD was at A&M. That's not LSU. That's really interesting. What do you think is the ultimate resolution of this? LSU going to be stuck with the $54 million buyout, basically?
I mean, I don't see a reason why not.
Yeah, I don't see a way out of it either.
I don't see a way out of it. I mean, unless there's something being brought up that we're not being notified of.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's potential that something could be unearthed, but we'll see, I guess.
I mean, as we heard from foreign players, Brian Kelly, just unshameful, just not a good human being. So who knows?
Yep.
Maybe he did break something in a clause in his contract that could make LSU fire him without cause. But dude, yes, I guess they didn't formally fire him, but dude, when you go to the facilities and you can't get in and like nobody's answering their phone, and you have to like claw and paw at the doors to get into a team meeting to inform them that you're gone. That's passive aggressively firing someone. I don't know. I don't know how else you get around it. Okay, so there was an actual letter, there wasn't actual conversations, but I'm pretty sure by doing that, you told Brian Kelly that he is fired and he's no longer welcome at LSU again.
Yeah, it's a passive aggressive way. I guarantee LSU, went through the proper channels, but it is pretty funny and passive aggressive, like you mentioned, to do that to Kelly. I mean, he's walking up working, and all of a sudden he gets a shock on that Sunday morning, bright and early, trying to fix things and realizing, oh, I'm done. I don't have a job anymore. Okay. Definitely a breakdown in communication. We must admit that. And it clearly was intentional. There's no question about that. But speaking of the LSU and just the SEC race in general, I want to dive into that. I want to jump into that race, man. This is a fun one to watch, and it's going to be competitive down the stretch because there's a lot of good games remaining. You already mentioned Texas, Georgia this weekend. Of course, we got Texas A&M coming up on November 29th as well. But we have the two undefeated teams, of course, in conference play, that is. Bama and A&M sitting at 3-4 in the nation, sitting atop the standings right now. If the season ended today, of course, those two teams would square off in Atlanta. But there's three teams waiting for someone to take an L. That's Georgia, Texas, Georgia at 5-1, Ole Miss at 5-1, and Texas has played one last game. They're 4-1 in the conference. And like you said, Texas, Georgia this weekend. We're gonna get somebody's getting eliminated this weekend. Is it gonna be Texas or Georgia? You thinking?
Oh man, dude, I've liked how this Texas team has climbed.
Yeah.
Ever since their loss
Yep.
to Ohio State, and then who else? I forgot who else they lost to.
Josh, who did they lose to? Ole Miss, didn't they? Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Ole Miss. Let me but yeah, I think that right now Alabama has the best bet to make the SEC championship game and Texas A&M. Now, let's say that what could make it interesting?
Yeah.
What could make it interesting is if gosh, what was I going to say? What could make it interesting is if Alabama loses in Norman to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then
Bama, Oklahoma this weekend.
There's like there'd be a three-way tie. There'd be a three-way tie for second place. Cause dude, I don't see them losing out. I mean, I don't see Texas A&M losing out, dude.
There's potential that Texas could beat them, but because it's rivalry and anything can happen in rivalries. But if I were to guess right now, I would bet I'd put money on A&M. I would.
Yeah,
in that contest.
They look really good, man. Marcel Reed. Now that defense, it gives up 24 points a game. So, but they have a high powered offense to counter it. But still, man, like what's gonna happen when you run into a defense like Ohio State, and as well as an offense like Ohio State, who can keep your high powered offense off the field? So yeah. We'll see what happens that. But the other team that Texas lost to is Florida. Now I'm looking at the SEC.
Yeah.
So sitting with one loss in the conference.
Yeah.
And
there's three teams.
You have Georgia, Ole Miss, and Texas. Now Alabama and Texas A&M are undefeated. So if Alabama loses to Oklahoma and Texas wins, I could see, man, because Texas beat Oklahoma. I could see Texas taking Georgia.
That was without Mateer though. Mateer's back now.
Yeah. So Texas could take the 2 spot if Alabama loses to Oklahoma.
Yeah. What about
they really could.
Auburn's about as down bad as you can get, but is there a potential that they throw a wrench in things like they have in years past?
Man, dude, what's crazy to me is they have a really good defense.
Yeah,
they have a really good defense.
And they're without a coach now.
If you look at the power rankings. They're literally like the top 25 in power rankings. It's because of their defense.
At 3 and 6. Wow.
They could very well throw a wrench in things. Is it likely? No, not really. But it would be interesting if they did, especially that last weekend when they played Alabama in the Iron Bowl.
There's potential that a tiebreaker is going to settle that second spot in the SEC championship game. But just like with the Big Ten, either Bama or A&M has to slip up somewhere for that to become a possibility, and then all hell breaks loose. Because right now, at this point, all three of those one-loss teams are eligible. Obviously, UGA Texas, one of them gets knocked out of the race this weekend, but Texas has the biggest uphill because they got 4 more conference, they have 3 more conference games to go, where everybody else only has 2 though. So that's the big question mark. But if they overcome Georgia this weekend, my gosh, man, they're right in the thick of things, just waiting for A&M and Bama to spring a loss.
But Texas plays Texas A&M that last weekend.
They got the toughest remaining schedule.
They play November. Man, they play November 28th.
Yeah, Friday night, really, okay.
So we may have to watch that game together, man.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun, man. That'd be a lot of fun to watch that game. Dang, man, I'm excited for that one to see Manning versus Marcel Reed. Whew, that's gonna be cinema. That's really gonna be cinema.
Are you really hyping up Arch Manning right now, dude?
I mean, he just knocked off a top 10 team. Yeah, absolutely.
That's true, man.
Absolutely, I am. He's played trash all year, but he seemed to turn a corner in that game. You got to give respect where it's due. Vandy is a good team, and they beat them on the road. So,
You know, man,
I give props for that win.
I'm gonna make a prediction, man. I think that, you know what? I'm gonna admit it. We were wrong at the beginning of the season about the Alabama Crimson Tide, dude. We looked at we looked at that Florida State loss where they got absolutely mollywopped, and we just said, throw in the towel. This season's over. They're gonna be an embarrassment once again. And as of right now, they're in the driver's seat along with Texas A&M for a spot in the SEC championship game. It seemed like Kalen DeBoer is righting his wrongs. And you know what I've seen? I've seen them really concentrated on defense this season.
Yeah.
Like, because it probably clicked like, hey, if I want to win this conference and I want to do well, I need a defense. This is not the Pac-12. Well, the former Pac-12 where there's a bunch of Mickey Mouse defenses that give up 500 to 600 yards a game and 45 points a game. It's not going to be a shootout. There's going to be some games in the SEC where you get into absolute dogfight and it's punch per punch, and that's defenses playing lights out.
Yeah. He's had a learning curve, and that's something I didn't necessarily think about. You brought up a good point.
One, man.
Yeah, you brought up a good point because winning the Pac-12 was a different formula, and you used a different formula to win in the Pac-12. In the SEC, you better play tough physical defense, or else you're going to get dog walked in every single contest. And he got to the drawing board. He took that fat L to start the season, took the embarrassment, took the heat from the media, took the heat from us. The pressure was up on DeBoer, and he's answered the bell. And in my opinion, Alabama is now one of the favorites for the national championship. They're in that discussion again.
Yeah, because just like, dude, in the Pac-12, you could definitely get away with playing terrible defense because just like everybody's playing terrible defense, so you have high-powered offense. You can counter the terrible defense. But in the SEC, I don't care. Let's say you have a terrible defense and a high-powered offense. What's going to happen when you meet a team that is, they have a high power, they have a good offense, a great defense? Like, what's that going to do for you? Okay, like their good defense is going to stop your offense, and your defense is not going to be able to stop their offense.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. It's a very different formula for winning, and kudos to him for getting to the drawing board. And you can tell he's a humble dude because he took the criticism, he took the pushback, and he adjusted. He adapted, man. I'm impressed. I wrote him off because I thought his rise was meteoric. He only spent 2 years at Fresno State, one at a high level, 2 years at Washington, one at a high level, and I thought his rise was too quick, but he's proved me wrong that he can handle the pressure, that fiery furnace that is Alabama, and he can handle the pressure that comes with that job. Not everybody can. Not everybody's built for that. Not at Bama.
Nah, man. I mean,
so I respect him.
It's just like it seems like he's definitely righting his wrongs. I got that. Like, it's like, okay, you beat Georgia, but Kirby Smart continuously has a Alabama problem, which makes me worry about this Ohio State Michigan game. But we may see something different. But when they beat Vanderbilt, I was like, okay, like it's a different type of gonna be a different type of season for them. And then it's just like, man, I mean, they've been playing some great football.
Yeah,
we got Ty Simpson. I was wrong about Ty Simpson, dude.
Me too.
I was. And then they went on to beat Tennessee. I mean, they beat, let's see, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
They beat 3 ranked opponents. so far, all in the top 20. And you know what, man? If they can go into Norman and get a W, dude, right now I would be pretty much sold that they're going to be in the SEC championship game, dude.
I'd even go so far as to say that they've got an insider shot at making the national title game. Maybe that's stepping out on the limb too far and overcorrecting my mistakes from earlier, but they're one of the hottest teams in America right now. Yeah, I'm convinced that they're an elite team now. The other theory of why DeBoer maybe didn't perform well last year is because honestly, his roster did get plucked a lot in first year after Saban retired. We were benefactors, Caleb Downs and others that came to our program from Bama, man. We benefited greatly. Julian Sayin, I mean, and other teams plucked that roster. And so he was left with an incomplete roster in year one. Now they're recovering a little bit, brought back in some guys that DeBoer wanted, and they're bouncing back in a good way, man. I don't like to see it because I despise Bama. You know, they set the bar and the standard for college football, so I don't want to see them performing well. I was praying on their downfall, but I got to respect it, man. They're playing good ball.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, dude, there's two teams that everybody's just tired of being on, like being at the top consistently, and that's Alabama and the Ohio State University, especially the Ohio State University.
Know it. You know it, man. It's the facts. It's facts. People are sick of the consistency that Ohio State displays. Speaking of Ohio State, just in general, man, the Big Ten race is heating up too, and honestly, it's pretty much identical to what the SEC race is like in the fact that there's two undefeated teams, two clear teams at the top right now. Indiana, number 2, undefeated, both in regular season record and in conference play. And the Buckeyes, of course, the same story, number 1 and number 2 in the nation. And then you got 3 teams that are chomping at the bit that will take a tiebreaker if any of these teams slip up. We got Oregon, just the one loss to the Hoosiers, of course. They're hanging around the top 10. We got USC with 1 loss in conference play, and then we got Michigan with 1 loss in conference play right now. So those are the 3 teams in the Big Ten that have the opportunity to pounce. And looking at their schedules, man, it's very clear to me that USC has the toughest remaining schedule. They play versus Iowa at home, 6-3 Iowa, 20th in the land.
They're actually, I'm pretty sure they're are they at Iowa?
No, it's in LA. And then they go to Oregon and play in Autzen Stadium, 8-1. That'll be a Big Ten decider and a playoff eliminator for one of the teams, basically. And then, of course, they play UCLA at home, whose star is fading again after the initial burst under their interim head coach. They're starting to take L's again at a high rate. So, but they have the toughest schedule remaining for sure. Oregon's not easy either. They host Minnesota, then of course they host USC, and they play their rival, who Dan Lanning is just 1-2 at so far, at Washington. But not a great Huskies team, despite being top 25, if you ask me.
Yeah, but so here's how I think it's gonna go.
Yeah,
but Indiana's gonna be there, man. They have no competition left. It's over. Yep. They're gonna be there now. For Ohio State, it's going to come down to that last game on November 29th in Ann Arbor, the big house. Michigan's playoff dreams will more than likely be on the line. Ohio State's, Big Ten championship game dreams as well. I mean, they get in the playoffs no matter what. And, of course, stopping Michigan from getting a 5th straight win as well. Yeah. But USC, man, they do have a tough road there. They do play at Oregon. They do play at Iowa. Now, man, I don't know, dude. I think this USC team is a lot better than people think, man. I think that there's a chance that they stay in this race until the end. From what I saw with Oregon, I don't think that this is going to be their year.
You think the Trojans could give Oregon a second loss at home in Autzen? Is that what you're saying?
They could, man.
Wow. Oh, I
They
love the
very well
boldness.
could, dude. They very well could.
I'm not
I'm
mad
not.
at that shout.
I mean, dude, the quarterback play, the
Yeah,
receivers, the
yeah.
defense is stepping up as well. It's a lot better coach defense with a lot. Dude, remember the fundamentals of
Mhm.
tackling for that 2022 team, dude? Against you when you watch that Utah game, that was absolutely ugly. It was not good. It seems like they're just more fundamentally sound on defense this
I
season than they've been.
admittedly, I need to watch more USC. I've watched them twice this season. They are better on defense. They're still not good at defense, in my opinion. But their
Ooh,
offense with Maava and Lemon and them boys. What's the other receiver's name again? They are
Jacoby Lane.
prolific. Jacoby
Jacoby Lane.
Lane and Lemon and Maava, they can get it going. And when they get in a groove, Lincoln Riley has proven time and time again that if he finds a weakness, he's going to exploit that sucker until you freaking beg for mercy. So
Yeah.
respect to Riley. They have improved. You're not wrong. They still got a ways to go on the defensive side of the ball, if you ask me, though.
Yeah, but here's what I think, man. And this is just me being bold, dude. I don't like what I've seen from Oregon.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just
either.
I just don't. I don't think that like I don't think that this is their year where they're gonna make they definitely make the playoffs. But I
Yeah,
just don't think this year their year where they're in the Big Ten race.
sure.
So I think and this is how it's gonna line up the last weekend. In
Yeah.
order for there to be some type of chaos in the Big Ten standings. So the winner of that USC, so Oregon is currently fourth, USC is third.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever wins the USC Oregon game will be waiting for there to be chaos
Yep.
that last November, that last weekend in November against Ohio
Yep.
State, Michigan. Now, if Michigan unfortunately beats Ohio State, whoever wins that USC Oregon game is going. Now, if Ohio State
Sure.
beats Michigan, it's going to be the matchup that we all been waiting for, which is
Yeah.
Indiana Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. So,
Yeah. Of course, we're really hoping that happens, man, because everything will be on the line. The Heisman will be on the line. Of course, the Big Ten championship. Naturally, we got Gristy coming with some heat, and then of course the number one seed in the playoffs. So no doubt, man, everything is on the line. Michigan's going to be 9-2 entering that contest, so they're going to have everything to play for. Not only their playoff berth, but a berth potentially in the Big Ten championship game because like you said, Indiana is going to be 12-0. If we slip up and we lose one of our remaining games, and the only one that's even remotely possible is Michigan,
yeah, in the
Michigan
Big
could take
House.
our place in that game, and that would be even more devastating and demoralizing to us.
Yeah, but I think the race is going to come down to that final weekend. So the winner of
Yeah.
USC Oregon is
Yep.
going to be waiting for the outcome of the Ohio State Michigan game.
Sure. Sure.
So
And Oregon and Washington usually play for. I don't know if they're playing Saturday or Friday night, but sometimes that rivalry is
Washington's
played
not
on
doing
Friday
a
nights.
damn thing, dude. They're not doing a damn thing against Oregon. They
I don't
they
think
should
so
be
either.
they should be absolutely embarrassed. They lost to that Wisconsin team, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know what
10
Jed
points.
Fish is doing, but
They've
that's embarrassing, dude.
They've scored a combined 23 points in their 3 losses. 23 points, that offense. That was averaging 55 a game heading into the Ohio State game.
Remember what I said about who they were playing for that 55 a game? Absolutely a bunch of nobodies, dude.
In
Nobody.
fruition, sounds a lot like Maryland to me. September greatness, October and November fading.
You know, since we're talking about the Big Ten, let's recap that Indiana Penn State game real quick.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that.
I want to talk about that game real quick. Now,
Yeah.
I honestly thought
What's up, man?
what's up, Matt? I honestly thought that Indiana was going to run away with it. They were up 17-7, looked like they're going to score again. And then, just Penn State stepped up, started playing offense, started playing defense. And then before you know it, Nick Singleton takes it down to the half-inch yard line. And
It's
then they
insane.
score and they're up. And now it's just like, okay, 2 minutes left. What could go wrong? Well, a Jim Knowles defense could go wrong. He peed down his leg like a scared dog you look at, and just we've seen this before. We've honestly
it play
seen
out
this
too many
before.
times.
It reminded me of the 2022 Georgia game when Jim Knowles kept sending the house. You know what happens when you send the house? The middle of the field opens, and that's where they got a good amount of the yards. And this is exactly what happened. It seemed like they had this Indiana team dead to rights after that first down play. It was 2nd and 18, and then they bring the house again, and
Seriously,
Mendoza ripped it down the middle, and they just kept doing that, man. Just like, what are you doing? It's like, oh wait, it's year one Jim Knowles defense. They had the opportunity to do the funniest thing, man. The funniest thing, and that was to have their only conference win be against Indiana, number 2 Indiana. But instead, again, Jim Knowles did the most Jim Knowles thing ever. It's like, dude, we're asking you 2 minutes. Please stop this team. And you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. It's not possible,
man.
And I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about this Mendoza Heisman moment. That wasn't a Heisman moment at all. I want to see what he does. You know what?
I'll push back on that.
Playing Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, if he balls out, then sure, give him the Heisman. But this is a down in your luck Penn State team against a defensive coordinator who is notorious for completely.
I'll push back on that. I'll push back on that. I think it was a Heisman moment because of narrative and what people believe. A gritty win on the road, 110,000 screaming fans. People remember the moment, and he rose above in that moment. It's not a big game, but the Heisman is won. Hold on. The Heisman is won by narrative. It's not one.
Though. It wasn't filled.
It was pretty darn full.
It was, dude. I was watching. The stadium was not full. Peter, we're talking about
even so.
We're talking about a 3-5 Penn State team, 5
that
losses
doesn't matter.
straight coming into that game. No head coach. Their defensive coordinator screws everything up possible. He's terrible in year one. Their offensive coordinator.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, bro.
Offensive coordinator is absolute trash, and just an extremely down your luck team.
It comes down to this, bro. The Heisman is fully a narrative trophy. And that is a narrative writing moment for Mendoza's season. Now, if he plays, he's going to be in New York. Let's be completely honest about it. He's absolutely going to New York, and that highlight is going to get played in New York in his Heisman ceremony. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but let's not hype that as it was the greatest play ever, man.
I enjoyed it. I'll tell you what, man. I enjoyed it. I think Julian Sayin is the better player and the better quarterback, but that might end up being the play of the season, especially if Indiana wins the national championship.
You know what, man? I'm gonna call right now. Because you know what? I'm tired of these Indiana fans. I'm tired of them running their mouths. Let's be honest, man.
I love it.
Outside of these 2 years with Kirk Cignetti, Indiana is a basketball school. That's all they've ever been. And you know what? When Kirk Cignetti leaves and he retires off in the sunshine with his 0 national championships and that stupid smug look on his face, they're gonna go back to being a basketball school. They are not wide receiver U.
They will.
Wide receiver U. They are not QBU. This is what happens when you have a fan base who has not had much success outside of AK basketball, and they just don't know how to act, dude. It's like that kid. It's his first Christmas. He's sitting there waiting patiently for the presents, and then he just rips everything to shreds.
I fully agree with you on that. They do not know how to act. They don't know how to stay in their lane. On the other hand, I freaking love it, man. I love the cockiness. They're following Cignetti's arrogance and his yapper little mouth that he has. And so it makes me laugh. I do laugh at them. Trust me, I do. But I enjoy programs rising up that have no business competing. And you're right, though. Indiana is completely a coach-dependent program. Once Signetti leaves, whenever that is, they're going right back to the doldrums. I'm sorry. They are. They're going right back to the bottom of the conference. But so even more so, enjoy this ride while you got it, Hoosier fans, because it's not going to last long.
Yeah, but we all knew what was going to happen those last 2 minutes. We thought about it. It was wishful thinking, and then we remember who's the defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles. Who screwed this up? Jim Knowles. Who is going to get fired when the new head coach comes in? Jim Knowles. He will never be at a Power 5 conference as a defensive coordinator, at least a big time program. Because you know what? These big time programs who have big time donors giving out big time money to big time players and big time coaches, they don't have time to wait 3 years, dude. They want results immediately.
Yeah. No, they do. They do. And Signetti and Clark Lee at Vandy have set the narrative for what it looks like to turn a program around and how quickly you can do it. If you're not doing what Indiana and Vandy have done, and now Texas Tech is entering that conversation as well, your leash is short. I'm sorry. We're in a completely different era. Coaches' leashes are this short. If you don't perform immediately, you are already on the hot seat. And so it's just the way it is in the NIL era, because boosters ain't playing this 3-4 loss nonsense bullcrap that some coaches are trying to trot out.
You know what I was
even established legends like Kelly, like you said.
Yeah, you know what I was hoping when James Franklin got fired? I was hoping that somehow Jim Knowles would have been the interim coach, because then could you imagine he's the interim coach?
I know. I wanted that.
He's up in the press box with his little walkie-talkie.
I wanted it. That'd been amazing,
dude. He would have been the first head coach of a football team to be like up there in the press box, not even like interacting with the players.
It would have been weird, man. It would have been weird. Where do you think Franklin ends up landing, man? And when do you think he enters the head coaching position again? Do you think he takes a year off, or does he enter the fray in this with all these elite jobs that are open this year?
He can't take a year off, dude. It was in his contract that in good faith he must find a job. Like
that just means you have to interview for work. You have to interview for work to get paid. You don't have to take no jobs. You just have to act. It's like unemployment. You have to show that you're trying to get a job. Yeah, a lot of people play that system for a year and a half too. Trust me.
You know what? If I was him, I'd sail off in the sunshine and go be a Walmart greeter. Because then, it's just like, no, it's like, dude, like if he gets this high-paying job, all Penn State has to do is pay the difference. So just like, dude, I'm gonna go get the cheapest job possible. You know, maybe I'll go be the head coach of a high school football team, or you know, I'll go be an analyst for a college team and get paid like $50,000 a year. And so the difference will be astronomical for Penn State to make up, and I'll still get a good amount of my money.
Yeah, man. He's it seems like that would be the move for sure. I can't see him being totally done with college football. I think he will take a year off and he'll relax, but I think he'll be on the sidelines in 2026 again. That's my prediction. I don't know where it's going to be, obviously, because we don't know what jobs will be open next year in the cycle and the coaching carousel. But I think he takes a full year off. Perhaps does the analyst circuit. We'll see. I don't know if he's built for that, but yeah, that's what I would do.
Matt, who's LEA?
Clark Lee.
Oh,
is that who it is? Vandy's coach. Yeah. Vandy's coach. Yeah. I think. If I were to guess, I think he's going to land in the ACC. In my opinion, he has to leave the Big Ten. There's no way in hell he takes a Big Ten job because every coach or every fan base knows his reputation in this conference. He has to get away from his reputation and go to a conference.
Tech is a big possibility.
That is a real possibility for this season if he wants to go there. That could happen. But that's going to be fascinating because I don't believe he's done coaching, altogether. He's got some left in the tank there, but it'll be interesting to see where he ultimately lands and ends up, because he is a good coach. He's just not an elite one, man, and he won't ever win a national championship. I won't ever be convinced that he can get a team over the hump. There's no way I could believe that. Um, yeah, man, some interesting. That was a fascinating game, and then I don't know with Oregon and Iowa. How do you think? I mean, it was the same exact scenario. Iowa had them dead to rights, but I knew they left too much time on the clock.
Yeah,
but then Lanning wasn't using his timeouts, and I was super critical of his time management on that last
that
drive.
clock management on the last drive was absolutely horrendous, dude.
Okay, so I'm not alone in thinking that
Oh man,
it was that way.
I was saying the same thing. I'm like, dude, like, how many? He's got like 1 or 2 times.
He had all 3 to start the drive.
Yeah, he had all 3 to start the drive, and just like there's like what, 1:30 left. And they just let too much time on the clock. But hey, man, they got the W.
He did.
They're watching the tape, learning from their mistakes, fixing it, and just like, but that's not like him, man. To have poor clock management.
It was rough, dude. If Dante Moore didn't throw that strike on 3rd down, perfect coverage, but he threw a perfect dart. If he doesn't deliver that throw in that moment, Oregon does ultimately lose that game. But the fact of the matter is that he did make that throw. They did win the game, and the kicker came up clutch and overcame that Kinnick dark magic to get the dub, man. It's not a fun place to play at night. Oregon found out. I was hoping they would lose. I predicted that they would lose, but ultimately Oregon did prevail, man. But it still rocks my confidence in what Oregon can be. And to your point, I don't think they're good enough. I'm not sure I'm going to call the USC upset, because like I said, I still do have those questions about the USC Trojans defense. But that's absolutely a realistic possibility to go into Autzen Stadium and come out with a W. So that'll be a fun one to watch here in a couple weeks. But what do you think about the Heisman race, man? With Sand, Mendoza, and Marcel Reed, is anybody else in there that isn't necessarily a betting favorite right now, or that I'm missing that I didn't speak about, or is it going to be a quarterback this year?
I think it's going to be quarterback this year. I think the quarterback back play is it's too good this season. I mean, you got Julian Sand, who's just playing out of his mind, the most accurate quarterback that we've seen in Ohio State. I mean, dude, I told you at the beginning of the season, man, there's a big chance that he just completely shatters Will Howard's completion percentage. And here he is right now, sitting at 80.4%. He's throwing like 90% completion, like almost every game recently. So it's just,
you sure did.
It's incredible, dude. Like the dude can't make any throw. Jeremiah Smith's endorsement was the truth, the real deal.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous, man. And it's just like, we already have receivers that are unguardable. When you throw a perfect ball, dude, it makes it impossible to stop those receivers.
Yeah.
Just impossible.
What gave you the confidence to think he was going to shatter that record? Because Will Howard's, he set this record at Ohio State last year. What gave you confidence? Because I was not a believer. You know that discussion we had. I was not a believer that he'd break that record, but clearly I'm looking stupid now. So what gave you the confidence that he was going to do it?
I saw him in the spring game, man. He just let it rip. Yeah. His throws were his release. His throws were so accurate. And then I watched a lot of tape that was, from practice, dude. I'm like, this dude's long ball is possibly the best I've seen in a while at Ohio State. And just like all the short throws he made in the spring game, dude, he hit his receivers in stride.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and then I saw Jeremiah Smith's endorsement. I'm like, what he's saying is exactly what I saw. He's able to hit his receivers in stride, and just, I've never seen a quarterback with such perfect ball placement for the back shoulder throw. Never. For the long ball, for a crossing route, and just being able to work the sideline. Like he knows how well his receivers are and getting 1 foot down. So he throws it, just knows how to work the sideline, man. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah. I'll be honest, man. I was talking this about with my dad last night. I thought C.J. Stroud was the best quarterback I'd ever seen at Ohio State, but I'm wrong, man. Julian Sand is the best quarterback I've ever seen at Ohio State. It's hard to say this, but I see literally no weaknesses in his game. He does everything well: the processing, the information, the reads, the eyes, the footwork, the pocket manipulation, the accuracy, like you mentioned. I don't see a glaring weakness in his game. I don't. He's the best I've ever seen in my lifetime. He's the best.
I mean, he is up there with like Bo Nix, and I forgot who else. Oh yeah, Joe Burrow in terms of completion percentage, man.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's ridiculous, man. I don't think we'll see this type of accuracy for quite some time. Like once he's gone, dude, I don't think we'll see it for quite some time, man.
I'm with you. Soak it in because I don't think it gets better than this. Go ahead, quarterback position.
The fact that we get another season of that, of that Julian Sand to Jeremiah Smith
Sure
connection. We get another 10-4 connection. Just
it's fun.
Man. Yeah.
It's fun to watch, man. And it begs the question. I want to ask this before we move into the Ohio State Rutgers preview and talking about that game and breaking that thing down. But it begs the question to me.
Dude, it's not Rutgers, man.
Yeah. But it begs the question to me, is Ohio State and are Ohio State fans finally going to learn the lesson to not fall for the bait of this offseason quarterback drama at Ohio State? The Buckeyes don't have a quarterback. There's a competition. I know we're not going to have this next season, but in 2026 leading into the 27 season, that narrative is going to be pushed again. Can we finally put to bed that stupid Ohio State fans that we don't have a quarterback competition? There's a one clear dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be Tavion St. Clair.
Yeah. I mean, like, let me put it this way, man. Everybody was calling for Devin Brown and then Lincoln Keenholz, and just like, dude, Ryan Day knows what he's doing, man. He worked absolute miracles with Will Howard. I mean, the season before Will Howard got to Ohio State, he was throwing like 65% completion rate, dude, at Kansas State. And just like, and I read this excerpt from the Buckeye Brotherhood, and it was Will Howard talking about Ryan Day just chewing him out because he threw 4 yards behind Jeremiah Smith, and just like it made him question himself as a quarterback. He's like, you know what? I needed that. I needed someone on me. It made me a lot better. So I trust Ryan Day, but it's like, dude, I can't wait to tell my grandkids that we had Devin Brown and Kyle McCord duking out. Devin Brown is sitting the bench at the Cal Golden Bears. Let me say that again. The Cal Golden Bears for a freshman. And
He's
Kyle
a 5-star freshman, but a freshman.
Okay, yeah, a 5-star freshman. And Kyle McCord is nowhere to be seen. He's MIA. I don't know what he's doing these days, but yeah.
Maybe on the practice squad in Philly, maybe.
Yeah, he should have been on the practice squad at Ohio State, but I'm just kidding. He would have been. You know what? The fact I'm saying, he would have did a lot better job than Devin Brown. Because, dude, that was the one quarterback battle that I was legitimately concerned about was Kyle McCord versus Devin Brown. One, because Kyle McCord has been in the system for 3 years. You're telling me you're still battling out. There's no clear-cut starter. I mean, after 3 years, you've been in the system. And Devin Brown, I don't know what people saw. He just wasn't that guy, dude. And every time we saw him in, he was just terrible. Every time he got in the throw pass, he was just awful.
Yeah, and even in that package, like, I mean, they had him for that goal line red zone package that pissed me off because it telegraphed to the defense what we're going to do every time we brought him in, and it was never effective, and he got injured on it, unsurprisingly. So, man.
And the fact that he was handpicked by Nick Saban. Nick Saban's not going to go out and just get a nobody quarterback, dude. He was handpicked by Nick Saban. You know what? Julian Sain actually wanted to come to Ohio State. He called Ryan Day and asked, "Do you have any room?" And Ryan Day said, "Yes, come on down." It was the best decision ever. You know what? Michigan fans, they can brag about the fact that, oh, we made Saban retire, but fine. But guess who benefited the most from Saban's retirement? Ohio State. We have Caleb Downs. We got Julian Sain. It's all good. So,
yeah, buddy.
But yeah, man, let's not question Ryan Day's judgment at the quarterback position. I guarantee you he was so infuriated, though, for the 2023 quarterback battle, but he had no choice. And if you couldn't tell he was infuriated, go look at the end. There's probably tape on the interactions between Kyle McCord greeting Ryan Day on the sideline, man.
No love lost there, no question.
It's a complete 180 from how you see Ryan Day greet Julian Sain on the sideline.
Yeah, and Will Howard and every other quarterback before McCord and after. Yeah, you're definitely right and spot on about that.
So
there's no love lost in that relationship.
Wait. Peter, I'm gonna address Matt's comment real quick. So he said he thinks Julian Sain has covered up some of the OL pass protection issues a little bit. I wasn't aware that Ohio State has offensive line pass protection issues. I always thought the weaknesses were in the run game. I mean, they've only given up 3-4 sacks this season.
Well, it's interesting because he gets rid of the ball so quickly and he makes the decisions. He's so decisive back there. I think there is a little bit of truth to that. I don't think we have a weakness in the pass O-line. We've been an elite pass blocking team in the entire Day career or era, I should say. But Purdue did get 2 sacks. Nobody's gotten 2 sacks. And to Cliff's question, did Purdue expose a weakness? I think that's what he was talking about. Did Purdue expose a weakness that Michigan or other teams can exploit? I don't think so. I think it was a Tegro Shabola issue. But, that can be exploited, I must admit.
Are they making a big deal about how Purdue got 2 sacks and now it's just like, oh, it's a weakness, let's go exploit it?
Probably. I mean, Michigan fans are grasping at straws at this point. Let's be totally honest, man. We were talking about it pre-stuff. They're hoping and praying for the wind and the snow and the tumultuous weather to benefit their ground and pound run and D, run offense and tough D. They're hoping for the gods to intervene with weather. They're grasping at straws. So if that is really becoming a narrative, that'd be kind of funny. But I do think there is a kernel of truth that because of how good Julian Sain is, it makes our pass blocking even better because he gets the ball out so quick. He doesn't hang on to it. And so that's a benefit to us. That's not a knock on the O-line. That's a benefit to Julian Sain's play style.
Let's be honest about this. Some Ohio State fans, and I'm not talking about Matt because Matt's a really honest Ohio State fan.
Sure.
Sometimes our fan base can be extremely, extremely unreasonably critical. If we're not up 50-0 by halftime, we're ready to fire coaches, take away scholarships, and burn down Columbus.
Yeah.
And God forbid, just everything doesn't go their way. It's just like,
do you blame them though after what Urban Meyer has done to defenses and what Ryan Day has done to defenses throughout their tenure? Because we pulverize teams, and if we're in a close game, it's a close game.
Not every game is going to be a blowout.
It shouldn't be, but we've been conditioned to expect it, don't you think? Under Urban and Ryan.
Against weak teams, man.
Even against some top 10 teams like 21 Michigan State, we're up down 49-0 at halftime.
That's true, man. But was Michigan State actually the real deal that year?
No, they were pretty good that year.
They were pretty.
Kenneth Walker and some scrubs, though, admittedly.
Yeah, it was the Kenneth Walker show, and that's
they did finish 12-1 though, if I'm not mistaken. So. They weren't bad.
They lost to Purdue as well.
You might be right.
They lost to Purdue. I remember.
Yep, you're right. They lost at Purdue. Yep, you're spot on. The spoiler makers. Yep.
It's just like some fans are just not going to be happy, man. It's just like,
No, you're not wrong. To your point, you're not wrong.
but I don't really see. I mean, God forbid a team gets 2 sacks against Ohio State. It's just like all of a sudden there's a weakness. No, they just had a bad game. Can't players have bad games? Is it possible for a player to have a bad game and not go ahead and say, "Oh, there's a weakness in this team"? Players are allowed to have bad games.
It should be. This is college. This ain't the pros. And even in the pros, you're gonna have some. You're not gonna perform at your best every game. But
Yeah,
I think the reason is the bar and the standard has been set so high that when they don't meet that standard, the complainers and the grumblers come on. I'm not saying they're justified in it, but the expectation is higher at a program like Ohio State. It is. And that's why, as you say all the time, it's not a place for everybody. Not everybody can handle that.
But just like you can't just a player can have a bad game, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so they give up 2 sacks that game. Doesn't mean they have a weakness. It just now if they're giving up that continuously through the year,
Sure.
yeah. But how are we about to say that this team has a weakness even though they haven't given up that much like the rest of the games? How can we legitimately sit here and have that conversation? Now, let's say they're giving up 2 sacks a game. Then yeah, I say, you know what? We gotta clean this up because you know what? We're going to get to Wink Martindale, who is gonna definitely exploit those weaknesses.
Yeah.
But it's just like I can't sit here to say that Ohio State has a weakness in pass protection because they're not giving up 2 sacks consistently. They have like 4 or 5 sacks on the season.
It's just 4. That's it. Yeah, that's 4. That's elite. That's elite. Let's be honest about that. Yeah, no, you're not wrong in your analysis of Ohio State. And there should be more understanding and grace from fans, but there isn't. It's the internet. There isn't. It's just not going to be. So that's the expectation. That's the reality. But how are you feeling about this weekend's game, man? Let's jump into that a little bit. How are you thinking heading into this weekend's contest?
We're gonna keep this short, man.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
Because I don't know how much else there is to talk about this Ohio State UCLA game.
Sure.
I mean, it could be a good game for a bit, but
the Bruins.
It's just like, man, this is they were going off that they beat Penn State. Then we find out Penn State's in shambles because they lost Northwestern the week after. And then it's just like they got smacked back to reality by Indiana. I mean, yeah, they beat Maryland 20-17. They beat Michigan State. Oh, wait, I'm going backwards. They lost to Nebraska at home. And now they play Ohio State, dude. I mean, they're playing the horseshoe. This has been a very business-like Ohio State team. They're not going to take this game lightly. Ryan Day had a lot of praise for Nico Amilava, saying that he could give us a lot of problems if we don't take this seriously, which Nico Amilava is the sole reason why UCLA beat Penn State. So he very well could, but man, like they got an interim coach. I get what's his name, Jerry Nieheisel, whatever his name is.
It's not. He's the one getting the headlines, but it's a brother out there. I don't even know what his name is, to be completely honest.
The brother gets the headlines when they lose, but Jerry gets the headlines when they win.
Yeah, that's
it's Jerry Nieheisel.
Yeah, that's well, he's the OC. Yeah, he's the OC. But he's not the interim. But that is the story, though. Nico coming back to the horseshoe, man. We cracked his helmet. We cracked his skull last year in the playoffs in the first round, the first ever game in December in the horseshoe. And now he tries to enter with a little redemption. He tries to get some redemption back. But let's be honest, man. They got that initial boost and that initial bump from Deshaun Foster being let go, and the interim head coach boost that we typically see whether it be college football or college basketball, that wave has died down and they're back to losing. I mean, Nebraska boat raced them in their own stadium last weekend. So things are looking bad with a backup quarterback, by the way, too, because Raiola is done for the year. So, I mean, that's a really bad loss for the Bruins. They're 3-6 entering this contest, and I'm not really sure they do anything well outside of Nico running the football a little bit. But his numbers are way down from Tennessee, what they were last year at this point in the season. Way down.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, he got his money though. But I think it could be a close game for a little bit. And then Ohio State, they've shown that I think Ohio State's a second half team, dude. They make the adjustments, they just come out guns blazing. So
yeah. You got a score prediction for this one, man? I think it could be nasty.
I think
the second half.
Look, man, I don't think it's gonna be anything special.
Me either.
They're just go in, take care of business. I think it's going to be 40 to I think it's going to be 40-13.
You stole my score of what Ohio State will get. I'll give my prediction in just a little bit, but do you think, just like we saw last weekend, do you think we're going to see Pettijohn in the first half, Peyton Pierce in the first half? These receivers rotating. And do we get Carnell Tate back this week, or do we just let him heal up another week because we don't need him this week?
It depends, man. It depends. If he's feeling tight again, I'd say save him because just you probably won't need him for these next 2 games, man.
No. If there's any kind of tightness or stiffness there, I say rest him again. Clearly, we didn't need him. We saw Bryson Rodgers and Mylan Graham step up to the plate. Gosh, man, I need to go back to Julian Sand for a second. How does he go 27 of 33 with one of his starting receivers on the bench and a bunch of guys that, let's be honest, haven't got a lot of playing time? They're super talented, but at Ohio State so far, they haven't seen the field much this year, except in blowouts at the end of games, meaningless snaps. How does he still go 82% for the game with Carnell Tate out?
He makes his receivers look really good with those.
He makes them better,
accurate throws. He makes them better, man. I don't think it would matter what receivers he has at this point. I mean, it's a great commodity to have Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, but at the same time, man, you give him some of those Michigan receivers. I don't think it matters, dude.
He'd elevate them too. I guarantee you would. That's a great point, man. He does make teams better, and he does cover up some weaknesses. And so we're blessed to have him in Columbus, man. What a gift. Thank you once again, Nick Saban, for retiring, because she wouldn't have been in Columbus if Saban was still on the sidelines. And golly, man, what a treat and treasure it is to watch Saban play football. I think we'll see a lot of reserves too, man. I think we'll see a lot of guys in the first half that are getting snaps. And it's fun to see them because we get to see what the future of the program looks like. Actually, Peyton Pierce led us in tackles last week. He had 7 tackles. And unsurprisingly, this went unbeknownst to me until I looked at the stats. But our dude, Arvell Reese, now this doesn't, let me preface this, doesn't mean I think anything about Arvell Reese slipping off. But because he didn't play that many snaps, he only had 1 tackle in the game last Saturday versus the Boilermakers. So that was kind of interesting. I didn't notice that in the game, that he was, 1, not out there as much, but 2, just didn't make as many stops as he normally does. But a lot of fun to see the younger guys get some snaps, man, and get on the field in some meaningful snaps when the game is still in question, quote unquote. But the Bruins are about to get waxed, man. If you're in the area, this is a cheap ticket, man. Go to that game if it's not far.
It was like $13.
They're dirt cheap, man. If you can go, man, take your kids to the game. This is a take your kids to the game type of week because it's affordable. You can get the whole family in for under $75. So, man, this is a week to go. But this will probably be ugly quickly. But because we're playing so many reserves and because of the approach that Ryan Day has adopted this season, I don't see it getting crazy out of control like we've seen in the past under Day. I'm also predicting 40 points for Ohio State. I think the Bruins will be able to manage probably 13, and it's because some of the starters aren't on the field for as many snaps as we've seen in the past. Purdue got more points than most of the teams we played this year, and it's not indicative of what the defense is capable of. It's just what who's on the field and whatnot. So I think it'll be like I'll say 10. I'll give them 10. 40-10. Ohio State takes this one, man. It's gonna be another fun weekend, man. It's gonna be a relaxing weekend for us, but because there's not, if we're being completely honest, there's not really any possibility that Ohio State drops this one at home in the Horseshoe. They're too businesslike, they're too professional, and this team's on a mission, like you said at the jump of this broadcast. But anything else you wanted to touch on before we hop off this live tonight, Rob?
Recruiting, man. Recruiting. Ohio State's on the heater right now.
Yeah,
if
boy.
You follow Hayes Fawcett on Twitter, well, now known as X, but I still call it Twitter.
Yeah.
They put out there that Ohio State is on a heater. It's about to get a lot more crazy. Stay tuned. And then they put 2026 and 2027, man. You know what? We were talking about this, a couple weeks ago or so, and I kept stressing it. These recruits have got to be taking notice of what Ryan Day and staff are building up in Columbus. They are building a fine-tuned machine, a war machine that is just ridiculously dominant, man. That just trying to right now come for so many words, dude. This is a business-like team. This is a business-like staff. There's no time for games. They don't have time to negotiate dollars with you.
Yeah.
You either bind to the brotherhood and you take the NIL that we give you and you accept the development and to the pros as well, where you can make more money. Then Ohio State is for you. If not, man, go to South Carolina, go to Mississippi State, go to LSU, go chase that money right now.
Yep.
Don't get developed. Don't go win championships. Ohio State is turning into a complete war machine, and I'm all here for it, man. Ryan Day's out there, freaking laser beams in his eyes, and just don't mess with the dude. He is on a just complete war path right now, dude.
It's exciting to see, ain't it?
It is, dude. I'm telling you, man, that loss to Michigan and that national championship playoff run did something to him. It was a complete reset, and he's not messing around, man. And you know what, dude? I'm gonna read that Buckeye Brotherhood book, because there's one more thing that Will Howard mentioned. He said there's a lot of F's, and like when he threw the ball 4 yards behind Jeremiah Smith, he's like, what the F are you doing? Like, Ryan Day is not messing around these days, dude. I just see, like Howard said, he's obsessive, laser focused, and like he can yell, man. He can get on you and chew you out, dude.
Yeah, bro. It's been impressive to see. The last 2 days have been electric for Ohio State recruiting. You're not wrong about Day being laser focused, and there seems like there has been a mental shift, and the gorilla lifted off his back. All that weight and that pressure of expectations, it can crush a smaller individual, but he rose above and rose to the top, man, and got that national championship. But we're up to 7th now in the national standings, according to 247. Do you think there's a potential that we get some more flips coming, like you mentioned, the Hayes Fawcett tweet, that we get into the top 5 before the season, before signing day comes? I mean, we're under a month. Yeah, we're under a month from signing day now. Do we get into that top 5?
I think they could do it, man. It just seems like there's more. So, as Hayes Fawcett put it, they have a chance to finish stronger than any team in the country in terms of flip season.
Yeah. A lot of teams' rosters or recruiting classes are being plugged because of the firings. We're seeing it at LSU. We're seeing it at Penn State. We're trying to get Brown. I don't see that happening. I'm kind of with you, Rob. I think that ship has sailed with the recruit that we took from Ohio. I think that kind of signals that we're not getting Brown, to me anyway. But man, these recruiting classes are being plugged. Penn State's still going to lose some dudes in that class.
he'll be a legacy commit at West Virginia. Apparently, his father
Yeah.
played there, so that's
Yeah.
you can't really blame that point. But dude, you know who I'm glad stayed far away from this program, dude?
Who's that?
Braylon Womack, dude. Is just like
Mm.
he was. I mean, he's looking at Mississippi State now. That Mississippi State, dude. He's a bag chaser, and that's fine, man. Go chase your bag. But
So you
what's
don't
gonna
care about winning, is what you're saying?
some of these, I mean, I guarantee you Dylan Stewart regrets his decision to be at South Carolina, dude. I wouldn't be surprised.
Sure.
There's, dude, there's a lot of players who we missed out on,
Yeah.
like Justin Scott or Marquise Lightfoot
Mm-hmm.
or Dylan Stewart.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, Dylan Stewart, dude, a couple games, he would even stand for the alma mater song, his school's
Yeah,
fight
you're
song.
right.
He tried to walk off the field, and
Yeah.
Beamer had to go and get him. Is that someone who wants to be at South Carolina? No. So I can't wait to see what the offseason looks like as well in terms of the transfer portal, dude. Ohio State could be getting some dudes, man. They could.
I hope so.
They're
I think
noticing what Ryan Day and staff are building up here. They're taking note, and they like what they see, man.
sure. It's a lot of fun, man. When you mention that specific point, it brings home the hammer. It hammers to me that there were question marks last year, especially after the Michigan game, and that being right before signing day. I think that caused a lot of panic to recruits. And just with how the season had gone, the Oregon loss caused a lot of doubt and panic for recruits, I think, and a lot of negative recruiting allowed to be slipped in by other coaches, specifically Lanning, let's be honest. And, of course, more at Michigan. But now he's completely flipped the script on that narrative, man. He's shown the consistency. He's shown that he can get those big dubs. Man, it's impressive, and it's showing up now in the recruiting trail. It's taken a year to shake that off. They had to see if he really could rebound and reload. But what he's doing with this roster, man, I'll be honest, I didn't expect it, man. I didn't expect us to be undefeated at this point.
But
He's proven it wrong, and he's proven recruits that he's a consistent winner.
Here's the other thing, man, that is completely flipping the narrative as well, that others have labeled Ohio State as not being able to develop. These are a good amount of these players. They're players who've been on the roster for quite some time. We're talking about fourth-year players, fifth-year players who are finally getting their turn to start, especially that defensive line. It shows Ohio State can develop, and that's probably what's pushing these recruits more towards Ohio State. Guarantee you that's a big reason, because it's like, oh, I may not start, but I'm gonna get developing. When I get my turn, I'm gonna be ready to make the most of my opportunities. Just like Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, Caden McDonald's, Arvell Reese, man. That dude was developed by the Ohio State University. The Ohio State University, man.
Another Cleveland Glenville product. But who had Caden McDonald being a potential All-American this year, even within the Ohio State fan base? Nobody was talking about that kind of season from him.
I think he's doing better than Tyreek Williams, dude. I'm just gonna say that.
Might be right.
And that's crazy for me saying that, because that dude was a monster, a space filler. But dude, just the way Caden McDonald is able to get down the line laterally, just at his size, just insane, dude.
It's impressive to see, man. And he's so disruptive. He knows how to penetrate an offensive line, and it's really he pops off the screen. If you're watching Ohio State, he pops just like Arvell Reese pops. Nobody outside of the Ohio State fan base, nobody knew that name coming into this season. We talked about him. We tried to hype him up. You and I did. Because he performed well in spot duty last year. I didn't expect this from him, but my gosh, man, he's been developed. And James Laurinaitis, he's bringing the talent. Yeah, he's bringing the talent to Columbus. So,
all right, wait, were you talking about the player Arvell Reese? I kind of zoned out a bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Arvell Reese. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, dude is a one-man wrecking crew, dude. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see what who wins that battle between him and Bredesen. Because
he's going to
be the lead blocker, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to take care of Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, dude.
Yeah. Yep. Those are gonna be the battles. That's gonna help decide that contest in a couple weeks. You're not joking, man. That's gonna be fun to watch. Those intense battles in the trenches. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, man, this recruiting trail flip has been impressive to watch, man. And we're coming down to a month of signing day. Ohio State typically hasn't signed too many guys in the second window in February. Obviously, we'll pick up portal guys now. That's kind of the new calendar in college football. But I'm expecting a top 5 finish now too. We need some guys to decommit from the schools above us, but we're right on the heels of the teams in front of us. So top 5 is definitely possible.
In no way 35 guys stay committed to USC. No way.
No. Heck no. Heck no.
All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We go live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. And we bring you the latest content on Ohio State football and just college football in general.
Yeah, buddy. Go Bucks and God bless. We'll see you on the next one.
OH.
I hope.